Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video via social media and with your friends via email. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Ryan Grados titled, Emmitt Smith Partners with Bud Light for New NFL Campaign, Talks Why Fans Should Come Back to the Brand. According to the article, Pro Football Hall of Famers Emmitt Smith and Peyton Manning were on opposite sidelines for more than half a dozen years. But this season, they decided to join forces on one team, Bud Light. Smith and Manning appeared in a new Easy Rounds campaign for the beer brand more than 2 months before Super Bowl 58 kicks off in Las Vegas. When I first read this story, I wondered how much money Anheuser-Busch had to pay these two football legends to make this commercial. They could potentially receive a lot of criticism for their decision to align with Bud Light. I sure hope this does not impact their future advertising prospects with other companies moving forward. According to the author of this article, Emmitt Smith was asked why fans should come back to making Bud Light their beer of choice in the wake of the marketing missteps. He responded by saying, "It's an iconic brand and it's been around sports for a long time. Every brand itself goes through iterations of highs and lows," Smith explained. Even the Dallas Cowboys are going through iterations of highs and lows, and it's been a low for a long period of time because we haven't been to the NFC Championship game, etc., etc. He went on to say, so, in this case, I think with what Bud Light is doing to engage with fans is wonderful. They're providing them with the opportunity to do something very special, very unique. They give them a different level of experience utilizing Peyton Manning and myself, and I think that is unique in itself because we understand the game and we played in the big game ourselves. And we can relate to some of the things that the fans will experience. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, I have to wonder how much money these two football legends got paid for this commercial. This isn't the first time that Peyton Manning provided Anheuser-Busch with some advertising help. Some of you may have forgotten this, but after winning the Super Bowl back in 2016, Peyton Manning said on television, "I'm going to drink a lot of Budweiser tonight." According to an old story published on money.com and written by Kerry Close, this comment was worth about $3 million in free advertising for Anheuser-Busch. I'm sure they greatly appreciated the comments after that Super Bowl game back in 2016, and I'm sure they also appreciate him participating in this new commercial with Emmitt Smith. Perhaps this will bode well for the Bud Light brand moving forward. It's anyone's guess. I read some of the comments beneath this article, and I found them to be very interesting. I'll share some of these comments with you. One commenter said, "No Bud Light for me, even if you give it to me." Also, not a fan of Peyton or Emmitt either. They have no impact on my response to the matter. Another commenter said, "Lots of thoughts here, but simply AB is not taking responsibility for its failed campaign, and AB must have a low opinion of us to think that a slick commercial via two sellouts will change our minds. Disappointed in two athletes who couldn't resist the money and got involved in this mess." Someone else responded to this commenter and said, "Sellouts. I hope they got plenty of money. Any other products that those two endorse, I'll be sure to let the company know they have been added to my list of companies not to do business with." Another commenter said, "So disappointed in Peyton. I had a higher opinion of him. Not anymore." I'll share one more with you. This commenter said, "Bud Light is on my never again list, along with Target and Disney. Never again will they get a dime of my money." I want you to understand that I didn't just pick negative comments beneath this article. I scrolled through all of the comments and I couldn't find any that I would consider to be positive. I encourage you to read this article in the description below so you can read all of the comments for yourself. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm going to remain neutral. As many of you know, I'm extremely frugal. When I go out to dinner, I always order water because it is free and because it is healthy. If I go to a bar with my friends, I'm the sober driver, and again, I order water because it's free. Some bars give sober drivers free soft drinks, but I don't want the sugar. As an adult, I spent money on Invisalign to straighten my teeth, and they are all in great shape. I want to keep them that way, so I avoid sugar. Here's an interesting bit of information. Within 20 seconds of consuming sugar, it combines with the bacteria in your mouth to form an acid that starts to damage your teeth. That's according to DiscoveryKidsDental.com. One of the most interesting stories that I read today was about a man who robbed a bank when he wasn't even old enough to drink alcohol. And he got away with it for more than 50 years. I read an article today on CNN.com written by Faith Karimi, titled, "On his deathbed, her father told her a secret. He was a fugitive and he robbed a bank in Ohio." A man named Thomas Randall was dying of lung cancer in March of 2021 with his daughter at his bedside in suburban Boston. After his first chemotherapy session, he made a stunning confession. He was a fugitive, and he had been one for more than 5 decades. More than 50 years earlier, when he was 20 years old, he'd robbed an Ohio bank of $215,000. And his real name was not Thomas Randall, but Theodore Conrad. Ladies and gentlemen, this happened back in 1969, and $215,000 back then would be equivalent to $1.7 million today. In my opinion, it is crazy that he pulled off this bank robbery back in 1969 at only 20 years old and evaded capture for more than 50 years. Apparently, he robbed this bank after being inspired by the Thomas Crown Affair movie, obviously the original 1968 movie starring Steve McQueen, and not the remake starring Pierce Brosnan made in 1999. The author of this article goes on to say some compare this crime to the 1971 case of hijacker D.B. Cooper, who parachuted out of a plane with $200,000 in cash and vanished over the vast wilderness of the Pacific Northwest, never to be seen again. I have had some commenters here on the channel say that I am the D.B. Cooper of YouTube, and I look like D.B. Cooper's son when I wear my dark sunglasses in some of my videos. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint all of you, but I'm not related to D.B. Cooper. Theodore Conrad, who robbed a bank in Ohio, didn't risk his life jumping out of a plane like D.B. Cooper. He worked as a vault teller. During his break at the end of the day on a Friday, he stuffed $215,000 in a paper bag and left work. The bank didn't find out about the crime until Monday, which gave him a 2-day head start. According to the author of the article, a week after his disappearance, Apollo 11 landed the first humans on the moon. The historic mission hogged the headlines, and the press soon forgot about the mysterious bank robber in Cleveland. In my opinion, he got very lucky given the timing of what happened with the Apollo 11 moon landing, dominating the headlines after his crime. In my opinion, he also got very lucky because he wasn't required to provide his fingerprints when he was hired as a vault teller. The most interesting thing about this entire story is that his daughter believes he changed his first name to Thomas after the crime because he was so fascinated with the Thomas Crown Affair movie. This man died 2 months after his confession to his adult daughter about the crime. You have to wonder why he told his daughter about this. Did he feel guilty, or was he wanting to impress his daughter with the fact that he got away with this crime for over 50 years? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. On the topic of crime, I read an article today on foxbusiness.com written by Eric Ravel titled, "D.C. Pizza Shop Owner Fed Up Over City Crime, Fallen into Anarchy." According to the author, Maria Russiano, owner of Mino Meli Pizza Restaurant in Northeast D.C., posted on social media last week to mark the official start of the holiday season, aka robbery season. She noted, "We've been consistently robbed over the holidays for several years now." She went on to say, "We have no cash on premises, discourage cash payments, keep minimum supplies in stock." Russiano wrote in another post on X, formerly Twitter, "There is literally nothing to rob, but the criminals do not care because DC has fallen into anarchy." Here's my opinion. I read a lot of articles about crime that is happening in America, and many of the authors mention organized crime being the cause. In the case of this article, I just can't imagine that organized crime figures want to rob a pizza place that doesn't use cash and has minimum supplies in stock. So let me ask all of you, who do you think is behind all of this crime? Let me know in the comment section below. Regardless of who is involved with this crime, it is a sad state of affairs in Washington, D.C. My heart goes out to the business owner and the employees. I hope they stay safe, and I hope they are able to stay in business and deal with the crime that is occurring. If you are from Washington, D.C. or have traveled to Washington, D.C. recently, I'm curious if you have experienced any crime. If you have, tell me about it in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video via social media or with your friends via email. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.